My name is Winkle, and my senior project is on the benefits of the sun. So first off, what I'll be talking about tonight. The first thing I'll be talking about is why I chose this topic and how it relates to me. And then I'll be talking about the mental and physical benefits of the sun in my life and how I experience it. We'll hear from some other people's opinions. We'll look at the Christian perspective compared to the sun. And then finally, I'll be relating the sun back to my time here at MCS. So first off, why I chose this topic. I chose this topic because I have a huge passion for the sun and how it affects our daily lives and the lives of the younger generations compared to the older generations. So first off, some mental and physical benefits of the sun. First, we'll start with the mental benefits. First is improved sleep. So getting enough sunlight during the day allows our nighttime melatonin levels to increase, which helps us go to bed faster and earlier. Research has shown that more exposure to daylight and brightness causes a decrease in feeling sleepiness and grogginess. The next mental benefit I have is the production of serotonin. So sunlight increases a production of serotonin, which is a hormone that regulates our mood and happiness. Serotonin can also improve an individual's ability to focus and plays a role in our digestive and appetites. So when sunlight enters the eyes, it stimulates a part of the retina, which cues the brain to produce this hormone called serotonin. My last mental benefit is our overall happiness. So we've seen how vitamin D can improve our sleep, serotonin, and melatonin levels, all things that are largely affected by our moods. So it would only make sense that an increased exposure to sunlight leads to an increase in our overall day-to-day happiness. Research has shown that people are more likely to feel depressed during the colder months when there is less daylight compared to the warmer months when there's more daylight and more sunshine. Moving on to physical benefits. The first physical benefit I have is stronger bones. Because vitamin D accumulates within the cells of our intestines, vitamin D allows us to absorb our calcium intake better, which results in stronger and healthier bone structure. Without enough vitamin D, our bones do not perform properly, which can cause long-term effects on both adults and children. My next point is that it can lead to weight loss. So scientists say that morning light seems to help people keep the fat off. It's said that you need 20 to 30 minutes between 8 a.m. and noon for this to make a difference. Scientists say that the sun rays may shrink fat cells in our bodies. Also, more sunshine means you're probably being more active and you're outside getting more exercise. And my last physical benefit is that it kills bacteria and boosts our immunities. So the vitamin D that our bodies absorb from the sunlight supports our immune system, which can help prevent illness, infections, and serious diseases. Its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties boost your immunity while also helping in brain activity and muscle functioning. Without enough vitamin D, we could be at risk for infections and autoimmune diseases. So how much sun is enough? This is different for everybody. It really just depends on your diet, your age, your health, where you live, your skin tone, and your history. So in general, scientists think that if you're lighter skinned, 10 to 15 minutes in the sun is enough for you, or up to 30 minutes if you have darker skin. You can stay out and get the same effect if you use sunscreen, but your doctors will know more than I do. So the sun in my life. I've always loved the sun and being outside, and my grandparents are a big part of this. The sun affects my mood greatly. The sun in the warm weather makes my days better and makes me a happier person overall. So my grandparents live on the lake, and I grew up spending most of my summers in the sun at the beach, and this is where my love for the sun originated. So when I was younger, and even now, we used to go to my grandparents' house after church most Sundays. On this day, we would spend all day outside, and it was and still is one of my favorite memories of being outside in the sun. Also, before this, to calm my nerves, I was standing outside. Now we will hear from what other people have to say. So the first person I interviewed was Jill Hahn. She's a teacher here at MCS. And the first question I asked her was, how much time do you try to spend outside when it's nice out?
So when it's sunny, I try to find either jobs to do outside or take a walk or sit out in because I want to absorb as much of that vitamin D and happiness that I can.
And the second question I asked her was, how does the sun affect your mood?
So the sun affects my mood in a huge way. I'm okay on like gloomy, cloudy days, but when you don't get very much sun in there, then you just start to get really down and just kind of blah. So the sun tends to just kind of give us that little lift of joy and just makes everything seem so much better.
And the final question I asked her was, how does the weather affect specifically your school day?
So the weather in my school day, this is kind of probably a weird answer, but the sun, obviously, everyone is a little bit happier and there's a little bit more brightness to everyone's attitude, but at the same time, being in the building and not being able to go out into it sometimes can make everyone a little bit more crazy.
The next person I interviewed is Mabel Yant. She graduated last year, is a former senior. And the first question I asked her was, how does the sun affect your mood?
Majorly. I wouldn't say that I have like seasonal depression. I know some people do and it's a very real thing. I wouldn't say that I have it. But winters are definitely harder. Not that there aren't beautiful days in winter, you know, when the sun is out and it reflects on the snow and it's beautiful. But I definitely like the summer more. More sun just brings, you know, new growth. I love springtime because of the rain and then the sun and it just bringing all new growth. More sun equals happier me.
The next question I asked Mabel was, how much time do you try to spend outside when it's nice?
Honestly, probably not as much as I should. I try to a lot, but, you know, when I was in school and when I'm working, it's definitely harder for me to get outside as much as I want to be. I can't because I'm either stuck in school or working. But on the weekends, I definitely try and be outside as much as I can. I love to go on walks and just sit in the sun. Maybe I'll read my book on the porch. It's so much better on the weekends when I can just be outside.
And the final question I asked her was, how did the weather previously affect your time at school?
Big time. I could tell that after a long winter at school, when it was starting to warm up, I would get like more anxious, and it was definitely harder to focus because all I wanted to do was be outside. It was so hard to sit down and focus on my studies when it was so nice out and school gets so hot. Me and my classmates definitely tried to convince teachers to let us go outside and learn out there. We asked every teacher, every period, if we could go outside. And yeah, just made me want to be outside even more.
And just to get another perspective, the final person I interviewed was a kindergarten student here at NMCS. Her name is Dawson Gernat. And the first question I asked her was, how does the sun make you feel?
Warm and happy.
The second question I asked her was, what do you like to do when it's warm outside?
I like to be in a tank top in school.
And the final question I asked her was, what do you like to do when it's warm outside at school?
I like to play with my friends.
So here we just see the different perspectives that the sun has and the effects it has from the older generations to the younger generations. So moving on to Jesus as the light. So I've broken this into 4 different topics. First, we need the sun just as we need Jesus. The sun makes our days better just as Jesus makes our days better. It's proven that starting our days in the sun helps us be happier, much like starting the days in the Word will make us happier throughout our days. And not only is Jesus the Son in our lives, He is also the Son of God. So first off, we need the sun and we need Jesus. As we have seen throughout this presentation, we have seen the importance the sun has on our day-to-day lives and happiness. Similarly, Jesus is a necessity in our lives. John 8:12 says, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." Jesus is ultimately the light of our lives, and without him, we would have no joy. The sun makes our days better, just as Jesus makes our days better. As we have heard from the people that I interviewed, the sun makes everyone's day better and puts people in a better mood. Jesus also has this effect on people. Psalms 18:28 says, "You, Lord, keep my lamp burning. My God turns my darkness into light." God ultimately turns our darkness into light and makes our days better. So starting the morning with Jesus and the sun. It's proven that starting the morning in the sunlight makes our day better. Similarly, starting in the morning with Jesus starts your day off right and makes you happier throughout your days. So Psalm 143 verse 8 says, "Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I put my trust in you. Show me where I should go, for to you I entrust my life." And a little play on words here, the sun and the sun. So this is a similar word in Greek and Old English. The sun in the sky, meaning the light of creation, and the sun of God, meaning the light of the world. So the sun in the sky is a star and primary figure in creation, whereas the Son of God is a star and primary figure in the Word of God. So the sun in the sky's power is in view for all creation to see, and we feel and depend on its power. Also, similarly, we should depend on the power of the Son of God. Revelation 21 verse 23 says, "The city does not need the sun or the moon to shine on it, for the glory of God gives it light, and the Lamb is its lamp." In this verse, it's talking about there's no need for the sun in the New Jerusalem or the heavens, because ultimately God is this light that the people need. Matthew 4:16 says, "The people living in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the shadow of death, a light has dawned." In this verse, Matthew is depicting Jesus as a sun rising to shed light on the people living in darkness. So NMCS and the sun. I've broken this into 3 different topics. First, soccer. The second one is doing classwork outside, and the third one being the Dominican Republic. So first, soccer. Soccer here at NMCS has such a good vibe and just a good energy in general. Some outdoor sports facts. The air quality is usually better outside, and because the conditions outdoors are more unpredictable and more challenging, this creates energy and helps the athletes try harder and produce more serotonin. Outdoor sports are good for the mind as well. It reduces stress and increases our levels of perceived happiness, which can eliminate toxins of your everyday life. The collection of studies says, compared with exercising indoors, exercising in natural environments was associated with greater feelings of revitalization and positive engagement, decreases in tension, confusion, anger, and depression, and increased energy levels. So next, classwork outside. During the spring and later/warmer months of the school year, many teachers allow the students to go outside to do their classwork. As a student, I know that I look forward to these days that we get to go outside. Being stuck inside all day gets tiring and gloomy, but when you get to go outside and be in a different environment and a different atmosphere, it makes us want to learn better and makes our days just better. It's proven that sunlight and vitamin D improve our happiness and our energy levels. So having this opportunity at NMCS to work outside in the sunlight makes our days better and more enjoyable. So finally, the Dominican Republic. As many of you know, last year I had the opportunity to go to the Dominican Republic. This was a life-changing experience for me, and I am so thankful for the opportunity that NMC gave me. Along with the kids and the adults, genuine joy for life, and just the work of service that we did there, a big part of my enjoyment was being in the sun. Yes, it was hot and we were all sweating, but all of our work was outside and we enjoyed the time that we had. And I can speak for all the seniors, we would all go back if we could. We were serving people outside and doing God's work in the hot sunshine, and through this I experienced true joy and happiness. So finally, spread his light. Matthew 5:16 says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Ultimately, God calls us to spread his light to others and glorify him through all we do. So go and shine. I challenge you to go and shine your light to others. And I have little battery-operated lights on the table there that you can take on your way out.